Hello and welcome. My name is Linda, or Nitya, whichever you prefer to call me. And I'm talking today about giving your power away. Now, this is quite a big subject, and I want to talk about it in the context of the spiritual community. So, ultimately, when we go on this journey, we reclaim who we are from others. So we start to connect with ourselves from the heart. Okay? Society has told us, given us a name, given us a job title, given us a sex, given us expectations, given us schooling, education. All these things have been put into us. And when we actually start to reclaim our power, we work our way through these. I've done this. This is why I sometimes call myself Linda and sometimes call myself Nitya. And I have job roles and I have titles because society still needs these things. That's not actually the topic I'm here talking about. But when we reclaim our power of who we are and what we are, and we put boundaries in place and we say, this is good for me, this isn't good for me, or that is good for me, or this is who I am, this is the road I want to take. We step into the heart-based living. Now, when we do that, we connect with other heart-based people, heart-based practices, and heart-based lifestyles, approaches, and belief systems. That's great. But what I'm talking about today is going even deeper into the discernment of taking our power back. Because when we start hearing things, seeing auras, connecting with guides, telepathy, manifestation, synchronizations, these are external validations of internal expectations. Okay? External validation of internal interpretation. So where's the power? When you think something and feel something and you see it validated in the world outside you, it comes back into the ego, and as not a power trip, but it makes us take the next step forward and think, right, we're on the right road. Now, what if these signs, symbols, and synchronicities were actually planted there by someone else? I'll give you an example. When we say to the universe, give me a sign, show me, and there's a feather, and you pick up the feather, and then you take another step, and there's another feather, just like the breadcrumbs. You're allowing yourself to be led by these feathers. These become your validation that you're on the right track. These become your external reality that you're on the right track. You've actually given your power away to the guidance of a feather. Now, I know that feathers can be seen as angelic support. I understand these concepts, okay? My discussion here is, where are we giving our power away? How are we validating our power? And in this context here, we've given our power away to the feather. But what happens if the feather was meant for someone else? Or what happens if it was planted there by someone else? Or who knows? My point is, our validation has come from outside. These stepping stones, these breadcrumbs, these are based on faith. This is the power of something outside ourselves over us. What would it be like if these feathers had been planted by other beings, malevolent beings, to play a game with the universe, with Earth and all the people on it. Where is the power then? Do you really have your own power? Do you really manage your life? Now, we all like to think we're in love. We all like to think that we're in the heart energy. It's great. It's fantastic. It should always be bliss. Now, this is a really high knowledge. So where is the power? Where are we getting our power from? If we were really in our power, would we really need a feather to validate our decision? If we knew it was the right decision from the right place inside ourselves, do we need that validation? Do we need that external tick, that external reality check to show us that we're on the right road, or that we're being supported, or that the angels are with us, or that someone is listening? We're giving our power away to something outside ourselves to show us that we have our own power. Okay? Now, if that feather doesn't appear to answer your prayer or your question or your connection, where is your power? How strong is the connection to Source and the connection to ourselves when we take away all these markers, when we take away the feathers and the coins and the birds and the songs on the radio and all these things happening? Where is our true faith? And where is the personality? Where is the ego? And where is the power? How do we actually test that these things are valid? So, if we take away all these external markers to internally validate our decisions, what do we have? All we have, is our true connection. All we have, I say all, but that's not all. It's all with a capital A. All we have is us as a pure representation of the universe. The universe made us as much as it made the next person, as much as it made the animals and the trees and the birds and the plants and the earth and the water. We are the universe in human form. We are a spiritual being in physical form. Why do we need feathers and birds and coins to show us where to go if we are in harmony with ourselves and in harmony with nature? Just like the little bird gets up every day and does its routine and does its finding food and making a nest and having its wee babies and eggs, if we're in harmony with our nature, we're not giving our power away to validation. Or we don't, the human has more consciousness than the bird. I know there's that argument out there. But if we have that consciousness, then why do we choose to give it away to a feather or a coin or a bird? Because we want to feel connected to something else, or because we miss something outside ourselves. Now, of course, we miss people, and of course we want to feel connected. But ultimately, when we feel connected to ourselves in our heart, we are entirely whole. WHOLE. And our power has a capital P for us, but it's not actually having to take control of anything outside of ourselves. So when we stop looking for these signs and symbols outside of ourselves, we come back in, and our validation comes from inside, and our trust improves, increases, and our faith increases. It may have to go through some anxiety or depression, which is, anxiety is living in the future and depression is living in the past, and pull us back into the now to be in trust and in faith and in control or in power of ourselves, now. So the more that we pull ourselves back into the now, the more power we have over our destiny. Now, we all want to improve the power over our destiny, and it takes a lot actually to be present in the now. And that's why when we ask for these external validations and the feathers and things, we're giving our power away. We want to bring ourselves back into the now. Yes, it's important to be connected to everything, and yes, there are opportunities, and yes, there are synchronistic events, because these people are working in the same manner as us, that it's just fortuitous, if you like. But when we wait for something outside of ourselves to happen, we may actually miss opportunities because we've given our power away. But if we continue to validate ourselves from inside and work on ourselves just by continuing on our road, we will meet like-minded people at the same vibration, or following the same path, or with the same intentions for the world. We'll find our community. We'll find our like-minded consciousness, or heart-based people that align with our values and our intentions and our plans for the future. And this doesn't come from a feather. We develop our nose. We develop our sixth sense, our multi-dimensional self, our gut instinct, our radar, our telepathy, our heart energy. We can feel the road. And it can't be done by reading a map or just following these trails sometimes. It's energetic, vibrational matches, consciousness. And when we learn to master our own consciousness and our own power, we're able to steer ourselves in that manner and trust and have the faith, rather than giving our power away to external symbols that may or may not lead us on a right path, because every step can take us on a different road. There are zillions of variables in the universe, and so we should be choosing which ones we take. I've touched on quite a few subjects here. Ultimately, it was about where is our true power. We don't want to be externally validating our internal decisions. It's more about our internal decisions may be validated by external circumstances. But ultimately, when the decision is made on the inside, our reality can reflect that. And if it does reflect that, then perfect. If it doesn't, then that's something that we process as well. As long as we keeping hold of our power and working in honor and working with the greatest integrity and clearing our consciousness, then we will align with the best outcome, and we will keep our power and our integrity and our intentions. Okay, I hope that makes sense. It sounded like it didn't, but there's a lot to digest in there. As long as we're not looking for external validation for internal experiences. Okay, the work is in the internally, and then everything around you outside will reflect that. Okay, everything on the outside will show the internal work has been done. And the work doesn't have to be done anymore. The work outside ourselves doesn't need to show us, because we will align at such a level. It's almost like a beacon that people can hear and see and feel. And the universe will align you with that. Okay.